How's it going, everybody? Incident Circ SG back again with another Dragon video. Alright, so today we'll be talking a little bit more about BT03 Gears of Apocalypse. So it is the 8th of March, as you can see from my date below here, 2018. So I know I'm really late into making this video for discussion about Gears of Apocalypse, but the thing is, Gears of Apocalypse, we haven't really seen its maximum potential yet. And from what I mean by that is that the cards that came out in this set, man, the power level is really, compared to set 1 and set 2, is really very different. So the full list of BT03 cards are actually out, and I hope that my mic quality is better than before, because I actually changed my microphone. But if there is a little bit of background noise, please pardon me. Please bear with me, because I'm trying to get that settled out as well. But from what we see here, set 3 is a rather diverse set, in the sense that we get support for virtually everything, and most of it seems to be concentrated towards machines and trait specific cards, such as like machines or angels or even dragons or anything in general, because of two cards that I will get to later on. But set 3, I will be splitting this video into a 5-part discussion video. So in a sense, in order to compensate for, like, not uploading for nearly 3 weeks of a month, I'm gonna be bringing you guys 5 videos for Dragon. So to all my Buddy Fight and Vanguard fans out there, I'm terribly sorry, because there's this series that I'm going on called DragoTalks, which is, yep, welcome to DragoTalks episode 2, I guess. So today we'll be talking about the yellow cards specifically, or rather the Logres cards in Gears of Apocalypse. So we've been through some of them, such as Hyperion, Giorno, Althea, but I'll be talking more diverse into that, in a sense that we'll talk about the combos, what cards work really well with specific cards like these, and some of the things that you can play around with the game mechanics as well. So let's start with our good friend Hyperion, the Sovereign Avatar. So there is a typo here, sadly. The trait is actually a machine Colossus. So yep, right on the bat, machine card. We talked about this. Looks like Optimus Prime, and this card gets -1 cost for each of your machines on the field. So it's not specified on the field, but it's pretty much like, how do I say this? It's pretty much inferred that it's from the field, alright? Because like, you can't possibly lie to your opponent that, oh, I have like 8 machines in my hand, so what can you do about it? No, right? So according to the laws, the rules of Dragon, unless you have a specific skill out which will limit or increase the amount of monsters you can have on the field, you are limited to 6 monsters only, because like you have 3 forts, and every fort will have 2 monsters. So this card can potentially enter the field for 2 costs, because 8 minus 6 is 2 quick maths. But still, 2 costs for such a huge monster is really good. And if you are running, example, yellow, blue, and black, maybe for your banners in your machine deck, you can really swarm out these smaller cost monsters, because there are cards that actually come out from Drop Zone in the newer set, because there's this machine gargoyle that comes out from the Drop Zone if it's milled out. So there are cards that can, of course, mill out in machines, such as probably the Experiment, 1 cost drop for blue that came out in set 2. That's a card that can actually just, mill something out, and boom, I get another free monster, potentially. So Hyperion is a rather all-rounded card in my opinion, because I've actually seen this card in action, and this card is actually really lethal if you play out in late games, because of course by late games, machine will definitely have their boss card out, which is End of Tides. Like, most of the time people play machines with End of Tides. So End of Tides, if you guys do not know, is a set 2 double rare blue card that has the ability to attack everything at once. So it can be blocked by Drago Shield, of course, but this card, when summoned, you choose an opposing die and destroy it. So opposing die doesn't specifically just mention dice on Drago crosses. It can also mean like when it's summoned and you can just pop a Drago Shield, because it's still a dice. So from that, you're basically clearing something out. And from there, End of Tides can just swing in, clear whatever Drago Shield, whatever barriers there is left, and the rest of your machines can just swarm in and just like smash and destroy your opponent. So Hyperion, a 8 cost double rare, although the stats are rather high, this card is just amazing, man. Like really, because note that the third effect, when this creature becomes Drago Cross anything, deal 1 damage to all non-machine creatures. So this card is really sick because like you don't get to deal splash damage. You don't just get to deal splash damage. You still get to do some dice destruction, and you can potentially get this guy out for a really low cost of 2. Because from that, right, if you have 6 monsters, you can still call Hyperion out for 2 cost because it's a 8 minus 6. And you might be wondering like, hey, how can you call this thing out? Because it hasn't entered the field yet. So it's still considered it being in your hand, and it specifically states that this creature in your hand gets a -1 cost. So yep, Hyperion, that's pretty much all I would say to it. If you run machines, I would suggest like 2 copies of it in your deck because this card is just really amazing. Like, I can't emphasize more. I'll give this guy probably 3.5 or 4 out of 10 because there are still really amazing cards out there. I wouldn't give this a perfect card because it's a rather situational card. It's one of those cards that I would sideboard out if the situation calls for it. So yep, Hyperion, we're done. And the next card is also a machine card. We're moving on to rares now. Chrome Gear Liberator. So this is a Machine Colossus, if I'm not mistaken. Machine Angel, sorry. So those that are playing Angel deck out there, you may consider this card, but note that this card only supports machines. So Drago Cross Blue, when this creature attacks, you may reveal the top card of your deck. If you reveal a machine, choose one of your machines and stand it. So I was playing at a TKS tournament, like I think a couple of days back, and I was talking to Augustine. So he actually gave me this scenario combo with Chrome Gear Liberator and End of Tides, along with another combo with just 2 Liberator there. So he told me that Liberator, of course, standing a machine, you can most definitely stand End of Tides. That's one of the most brainless things out there. But the one that I'm really interested in about is when he told me that you can have 2 Chrome Gear Liberators out on the field, and you can have a Angelica out on the field. If you do not know who Angelica is, she was a double rare back in set 1. Angelica, the Light of Logres, she's the how do I put this? The vice captain of Logres, if you may. So her effect enables you to put any dice on her, and all of your monsters on your field are considered to be Drago Cross with the same dice that's crossed on her. So this card, Chrome Gear Liberator, machines is a generally blue is pretty much a staple color in machines because of Vessel of the End of Tides, and most of the machine just comes from Olus. So from there you can just put your blue dice on Angelica and do unlimited attacks with Liberator. Think about it. Drago Cross Blue, Angelica got that covered. So you have 2 Liberators there, like, oh, we have dice from Angelica. Alright, so when you attack with 1, you can stand another machine. You attack with the other Liberator, you stand the previous Liberator that attack, and you pretty much do an endless loop there until you you freaking run out of machines in the deck or something. But by then you probably would have killed your opponent. Because 5 cost, honestly speaking, is not really hard to get out because of the other green cards that came out of this set, which we will get to in another video, but sadly we're just talking about yellow cards this video. So this card, although it's a rare, you can do some really sick combos with it. So like, if you combo this card with Angelica or maybe other machines in general, right, you can really slay your opponent down to pretty much nothing. And if we are talking back about Hyperion, man, that 6 base attack guy is gonna wreck some shit up, man. So Liberator, this is another card to look out for. But from after that, even after that awesome discussion I had with Augustine, right, he did point out some stuff that this is still a 5 coster. So for machines, you would go for more of efficiency. So you're gonna call out some smaller drops to like wreck your opponent. Of course, with a huge monster like End of Tides to clear off the Drago Shield with the other 5 monsters to swing in. So that's the general combo with machines. But Liberator, again, it's a good card to have, but you can forego it. So I will give this card a 2.5 or a 3 at best because, yeah, a good card to have, you can forego it. Just move on. So Liberator, thank you. Now Giorno, Eyes of Fate. So This card is pretty much one of the more consistent angel cards. So Giorno, we talked about his effect. You can like potentially summon an angel out for free and like just cycle your entire hand. So Giorno, it's a 5/4/4, a rather decently balanced card, but its effect allows you to in a sense swarm the field. I wouldn't really say much about this card because angels, although you have enough cards to make a deck, like if you do not know Hearst from set 2, a double rare red from set 2 is also an angel. So that's a card. If you do not know her effect allows you to check the top card of your deck. If it's a cost 2 or less creature, you can summon it and you can gain the cost of I think the cost of the card to add on to her power. So although you can like have enough spawning powers from angels, Giorno is still the staple card to play angel. So from that, I will give it a 4 out of 5. But the thing is, there is very few angels out there to sort of give any form of push, or at least I haven't really seen a pure angel deck yet. So I'm hoping that the guys at TKS or somewhere else, like Monarch, will like sort of surprise me with an amazing angel deck. But I have one of my friends that's working on angel deck, so yep, I'm kind of excited to see that. But for now, because of the fact that angel has really little cards to sort of like make a amazing deck, such as machines or like elves, I would give this guy a 3 or 3 out of 5, but still definitely a must play card at 4 if you ask me. So Giorno, Eyes of Fate, you can just run this guy at 4, and yeah, not much to say from here, to be completely honest with you. So like, yep, Giorno, we're done. Now Althea, the Hand of Elthane. So this card is also an angel. You can run this with Giorno. When this creature is summoned, the next spell you play costs 4 less to play. So if you summon her out with, let's say, Giorno, you can really just sort of like, play some cheap spell. Some spells that I would suggest is probably Gluttony of Albert to like, poop, destroy a fort. So like, angels, I would say this card is more of a passive destructive card because it really depends on what you have in your hand to play, which is a rather, I would say, inconsistent card. So although I'll run this at a max of 3, but the thing is, angel, as I mentioned before, has so little cards, you are kind of forced to play her at 4. So but the good thing is this is pretty much like the powerhouse of angel deck, in a sense that when this creature attacks, this creature gets a +2/+0 for every spell played during his turn. So how do I say this? Althea, I will run you at 3, but Angel, you make me have to run her at 4. So this card, I would say a 2.5 or a 3. I mean, like, that's my personal opinion, of course. So those that actually really like this card, I'm so sorry. I've actually seen some really sick plays with this card. Like, set 3 has only been out like not even 3 weeks, and I'm already seeing some awesome plays from the guys at TKS. So Althea, a card to look out for, but still not really a lot of things to talk about. Guardian Whelp. Now we're seeing some pure dragons here now. So it's a cost 4 rare drop. When this creature takes damage from battle, it takes 1 damage instead. So this can be a really good card to play, but the thing is, dragons have so little cards. Like, we need more balance in terms of cost, because this is pretty much one of the lower cost dragons to run. Dragons typically are large monsters, bosses, finishers even. So the main dragons that we know are Izarko Tivesh, or even what's that guy's name? The Shadow Dragon. I can't remember his name. I think his name was Shadow Snare or something like that. Yeah, basically he was the double rare dragon from set 2. Izako deals 6 damage on summon and deals 7 when he's Drago Cross and he dies. So I would say Guardian Whelp is a good card to run, but the thing is, some of the things that to take note of is that it doesn't negate damage, but instead changes the damage to 1. So you can use this guy as a guarding card, but the thing is, if you are met with cards with the Slayer ability, yeah, Guardian Whelp is pretty much rendered useless. And there are cards like Gleaming Sentinel, which is in a sense better to run because the damage that's on the fort is 0. So, and it's a smaller cost monster as well, and it's of course a machine to run. So machine seems to be branching out into decks more and more often. But Guardian, well, if you're running dragons, I guess it's a good card to run at 4. But do take note of Slayer. So yep, that's Guardian Whelp right there. Now, Armadillo, the Cloud Run Sneak. Alright, so Armadillo is sadly a dwarf, so you can't run it in elf decks. Otherwise, I would run this at a max and minimum of 4. So Armadillo, when this creature is destroyed, you get to draw a card, and it's a 2/2/2 card to run. So the chances of it dying is pretty high because you can just use it to block any other attack out there and just die and draw a card. So if this creature is Dragon Cross yellow, choose an opposing creature with 5 or more endurance and rest it. So if you're running a low cost rush deck such as Hearst or even Ferocity Unleashed, you can definitely throw this card in, maybe 3 copies. But if it's me, I'll run this at 4 if it wasn't a dwarf. Because if it's an elf, right, wow, this card is just like a confirmed play at 4, man. Because the fact that it gives you draw is amazing, but the thing is, it's a built-in Sunscale. What's that card's name? There was this Sunscale card that allows you to. It was in the first trial deck as well, so I can't really remember the name. I'm sorry, guys, but there was this Sunscale card that allows you to rest a cost 5 or above monster on call. Yeah, it's a cost 2 card, so you guys can go look it up. But it's also a Logres card, so this is a built-in card that's consistent because you get to cross it every turn and just rest something. So in a sense, you're forcing your opponent to attack. Cost 5 endurance, creature with 5 or more endurance usually are rather fat creatures, unless we are talking about cards like the Guardian cards from Tir Na Nog. So this card you can just like, oh, block, it dies, okay, great, I get to draw a card. Armadillo is a rather all-rounded card, but the thing is, it's a dwarf. That's my main concern with this card. If it was an elf, again, I would run it at 4. So, yep, sorry elf players, but Armadillo is just gonna slip by your hands. Alright, so we're going on to the next page. If you guys still do not know what this website is, this is DragoTalk.com, so you can most definitely come over here and check out what cards they have, check out the latest news, events, shops, and even the articles that they post there. So there's a search function if you want to find a specific card. So yep. Next we're talking about Serene Prelate. So it's an elf, so we're seeing some elven action right now. So if you guys do not know, yellow has an alliance with green, and now this card is a prime example. All your ambushes cost 0 to play. So as I mentioned before about how ambushes are like now like ambush city, right? Ambushes cost 0 to play, which is just sick. And continuous Dragon Cross green, this creature gets +1/+1 for each of your ambushes. So this card can potentially be a 5 cost 7/7 Dragon Cross green, and I wouldn't really Dragon Cross this guy because his stats are rather solid already. But if you're actually running this card, right, all of your ambushes cost 0 to play, so like you can really set up some sick offenses or defenses or any form of like doomsday button for your opponent, such as probably since you're running yellow for this card, you probably have some Righteous Ends set up or even some Dragon's Presence. So this card just makes elf that much resource friendly because when we get to the green video, we'll explain why elves is like so sick. It's one of my favorite archetypes out there now. But yeah, Serene Prelate, you can run this with Phanis, which is a double red green, which I'll get to later on. And this card is just a sick ambush card to play because like ambush is again a really viable way to play the game now with all the sick cards that came out of this set. So this card, a card to look out for. If you see this is probably your opponent is probably playing some cheesy ambush deck. So I hope you prepare your Eleanors. Alright, next card, Angel of Divine Balance. This is the card that I will recommend you play 4 of in basically any yellow deck. Or yellow-green actually. Because the thing is, it's a cost 3 card, so you can get it off at a You can play it out at a first turn. And it's an angel, so Giorno 4 copies, why not? At the start of your turn, you may return this creature to your hand. So you don't really lose any advantage out there. You can choose a cost 4 or 5 yellow or green creature from your hand and summon it. So in a sense, this is a creature form of Lalania's Call, but you are limited to cost 4 or 5, which is pretty much anything out there. Serene Prelate is a card, Sigrun is a card, Giorno is a card because it's a cost 5. So now with this, right, you can even combo it with the Hand of Elthane. So this card is just sick because assuming that you got it off you got it out at the first turn, the next turn you have like, oh, the first card that comes into your resource zone, it's your resource is at 4, so you can save that 4 to summon out a 5, even have the 4 more to summon out Angel of Divine Balance again because it goes back into your hand to trigger its effect, mind you. And you can get Sigrun out on your field, which is like a huge defense card for Angels, and even have this card out for your next card out. So Angel of Divine Balance is just sick. This is a card that I would recommend any player out there to run for if you are running yellow green. So it's an uncommon card as well, so why the hell not, right? Alright. Next, Darkbane Acolyte. So nothing much to be said about this card. It's an elf, so you can run this with Phanis, but this is usually what I'll run in a sideboard because when this creature is summoned, destroy all opposing black dice. So I mean you can run this in main board and pray that you fight a black banner's opponent. So like from this you can just like, oh, you imagine I lost to another deck that doesn't run black, I'll just sideboard this thing out. So yeah, you can pretty much play along with the game. So Dragon is still a really rather friendly game, so I guess so. And you can just run this card in. It's an elf as well, so do take note that it's an elf. I will get to why elf is so amazing in the green video. Alright, next we have the Unstoppable Charioteer. So this card is one of those sick 1-drop cards, in a sense that although you might find that it's a waste to Drago Cross this guy, but when this creature is Drago Cross any, if it deals damage to a black or a red Drago Shield, immediately destroy the thing. So it's a 1-coster. Come on, it's a 1-coster, so you can just throw it out there. If assuming that you are running, let's say, again you're running what's that card name? Angelica. You can just like cross this with a yellow dice and just gain all of the amazing advantage out there and just start swinging in. So Charioteer just clears the path for the rest of your things to just swing in on the fort. So this is similar to the playstyle example that I gave with End of Tides and the other machines. So Charioteer, if you are playing a yellow deck, I would say this card is a 4 out of 5 to run. Amazing card, it's a 1-drop, just play 4 of it, man. You can just sideboard it out even if you really don't want to. So Besiege Colossus, alright. It's a Colossus, it could have been a machine, but you know, they just decided to make it a Colossus. So immune, this creature doesn't take, it's an immune black card, so this creature cannot be chosen by black spell or abilities from black creatures. It doesn't take damage from black spells or creatures. So this is the anti Albert Sark combo that's out there. And it has invade black as well, so it's not typed out here, but you can just see really subtly from the card text right here. So although it can be blocked by Drago dice, but if we combo it with Charioteer from the previous card that we talked about, you can just swing it with Besiege Colossus and just like, oh, boom boom boom. It can't be blocked by creatures when it's attacking by black fort. So Besiege Colossus is pretty much a huge combo piece when you want to run like really anti-Niflheim kind of playstyle. So good sideboard card or a main board card because it's still a 4-drop for a 5. You can play this with Angel of Divine Balance as well, because why not? It's a cost 4. So this card I would say it's a 3 out of 5 at best, but it's still a good card to run. Alright, moving on. Light Globe Angel. So what can I say about this card? It's an angel, it's a cost 4, vanilla, done. Alright. Fortified Golem. So this card is sadly not a machine, even though it pretty much looks like a goddamn machine. It's a golem. If this fort has no other creatures, this card gets +0, +2. So without any Drago Cross, this can be a 3/3/5. So like hell, this is a defense card. But then again, Dragon is seeing a really offensive kind of meta, especially with machines being so offensive now. Having 1 defense is equivalent to having no defense on that fort at all. So I would say that this card, if you're running, I'll run this card at 2 copies or 3 at best, but I wouldn't really recommend this card to be ran. Also, if I were to talk more about this card, I really can't find much things to talk about this card at all, like really, because this is a really simple card. If you're running a budget deck, I'll of course run this card in, but then again, Fortified Golem doesn't seem to have much going on with him and his rather average effect, I would say, because this card you need to have nothing else on the fort to have the effect of. So I would say this card is a 2.5 out of 5, or maybe even a 2 out of 5. I wouldn't even pass this card now that I think about it. No, I wouldn't run this card in your deck at all. Alright, Gear Breaker Angel. So like the name just sounds like a machine destroyer. So I mentioned before that machine comes from Olu's Invade Blue. Yep, we have an Invade Blue Angel card. So Gear Breaker Angel is a good card to run in Angel, I would say. So I mean, like, it's a 3/3/3 solid card, and it has one of those rare Invade Blue abilities. So yep, I would say this card is a 3.8 out of 5, and just hell just play 4 copies of it in your deck, man. It's an Angel. So those that are playing Angel out there, Giorno, Althea, just play this card, man. Damn it. Alright, nothing much to be said about that. Now we're moving on to Solemn Bladesmith. Alright. According to Yu-Gi-Oh!, any card with Solemn in its name is amazing. So, Solemn Dragon's Blade. Sorry, not Dragon Blade, it's me. Dragon's Blade. It's a dragon half card, so like you can run this with like the old dragon halves from back in set 1. When this creature is summoned, if you have an ambush, draw a card. So this is one of those ambush city cards to run. And you can play this with the elf card, cost 5, that we talked about earlier on. So on call, draw 1 if you're ambush, very simple. Yeah, I would say that this is a good card to run at 4, because it's a really consistent card. But then again, you must play ambush. So if you don't play ambush, you basically cleared 4 more slots in your deck for the clear out 4 more slots because you don't run this card. And the art is pretty sick as well, if you ask me. So yep, I would say this card is a 3.5 or 4 out of 5. Alright, now we have Darkwing Priest, one of the most annoying elves out there in this set. So it's a cost 2 drop, which is really cheap. When this fort is attacked, you may siphon X. If you do, the attacking creature gets minus X plus 0 for this turn. So it means that if you siphon 5, your opponent monster that's attacking minuses 5 attack. So they can potentially is potentially a free negate for their attack. This ability can only sadly be used once per turn, which is kind of good actually, because you don't really have to keep on sucking out your own dice to negate the attack. Because like if you meet something like End of Tides, you can't possibly just siphon 10, which is literally impossible. So Darkwing Priest, if you're running an elf deck, I would say run this at 3 or 4. It's a really good card to run. I've seen some really defensive plays when I fought against one of my friends from back at TKS. So yep, this card a card to look out for. I'll probably say this is the main defense mechanic for elves, other than ambushes, of course. So yep. Either way, moving on to Determine Neophyte. So Determine Neophyte is, from what I see, is basically a Hearst support. When this creature is summoned, if it's not played from your hand, like come on, you can only call this thing out through, let's say, Hearst or even Ferocity Unleashed, because it's a cost 2. It's a human, so sadly not an elf. When this creature is summoned, if it's not playing from your hand, you may draw a card. So really consistent card to have. I would say this is a 2 or 3 copy card to be run in Hearst, which is quite a lot actually, because you need to run a variety of monsters in Hearst to get a diversity out there. So yep, nothing much to be said. That's the combos to be run with Neophyte. And now moving on to the next Angel card, we have Mending Angel. So this is I would say, the main defense mechanic of Angel. I thought it was a female Angel at first, but it's actually a guy. So yeah, Siphon 3, choose a creature, it gets a backside increase of 3. Alright, this card is a really simple card, but it's actually quite a painful card to use if you ask me, because it's a 1 defense itself, a 1 endurance card. So this card is just so vulnerable to all the other cards out there. Like, Hyperion comes out, just deals 1 damage, Mending Angel just dies. So like, whatever, man. Alright, so this is a good card to run in Angels, but I wouldn't play this at a playset, man. Like, come on, don't disrespect yourself this way. There's better cards to run other than bloody Mending Angel. I would even say play more goddamn ambushes in your deck. Alright, now moving on to Sanctuary Squire. I have no idea what is it with Dragobond, man. You have such sick art, but most of it is wasted on vanillas. Come on, Dragobond. We have enough vanillas, goddammit. Please give us better cards. You can even remove it from the set. I don't think any of us would mind. Alright, so yeah, that's pretty much it. She's an elf. Whatever. Alright, now against all odds, we pretty much talked about this card. This is one of the key cards to run in an Ambush City deck. So we can pretty much say that Ambush City will have yellow as one of its 3 colors. So when this card is attacked as an ambush, you can just keep on looping against all odds. So this is one of those cards that I will run with cards that can like return drop zone to your deck. I'm pretty sure there are some cards out there that can do that. I can't really remember which cards are there. So against all odds is a must play card to run at 4 simply because of its attack to effect to like keep on sending out against all odds. So well, against all odds is one of those really defensive cards. There's really nothing much to be said. Just run it at 4. This is one of those 5 out of 5 cards that I would say. But the fact that there's a chance to screw up your combos by drawing it or having it in your forts, yeah, it brings my value for this card down to 4 out of 5. So yeah, be careful of this card. Anyone that plays yellow, please do yourself a favor and just get 4 against all odds. Next, we're moving on to Divergent Ideals. Draw 2 cards, discard a card from your hand. If you discard a non-yellow card, all creatures gets +1/+1. So it's a spell. When you run it with Althea, you get another +2. So Althea can be buffed up to a +3 like disregarding her base stat with just this 1 card. So it's a cost 2 as well, so you can just use Althea's effect to use it for free. And it's a good +1 card as well. So if you are running black somehow in your banners, right, you can discard like a Necros to like summon that damn thing out. So Divergent Ideals are a really consistent card. I'll run this at a maximum of 3. I would say that this card is a 3 out of 5 if you ask me. So I'll even bump it up to 3.5 if I actually see this card in action. But nobody really runs yellow and black together, so that's kind of sad. So maybe we'll see more of discarding effects in yellow and green in the future. Set 4 information just came out. If you do not know, it's Deus Ex Machina. So yep, that's the cover card. Actually, all the machines are evil. So yep. Now, Nourish the Brood. So this is the card that I mentioned, one of the 2 cards that I mentioned for running archetypes or trait-based decks such as elves, demon goblins, or even dragon hearts. So Nourish the Brood, one of those must-play cards when you play a specific attribute or trait rather. So as a part of the cost to play this spell, you choose a trait. Put 4 creatures with that trait from your discard pile to the bottom of your deck. So creatures, sadly, so you can't really like play this with against all odds. Just send it back to the deck and cheese your way out, and you get to draw 3 cards from this effect. So with just a cost 2 card, you get to draw 3 cards for free. So this is a really decent card to run in machines if you ask me, because machines, what you want, the main combo I would run is I would overdraw my hand at first, cast Nourish the Brood, keep on doing it to like pump up my hand, and just keep on discarding through the game mechanic that you can only have a limit of 7 cards in your hand. So if you over milk your deck and have like more than 8 cards, because like End of Tides only require you to have 8 cards, and all your machines just go back to your deck. So I'll use Nourish the Brood to sort of just get some advantage out of it before summoning out End of Tides. So yep, really, this is a really consistent card to play, but its cost is rather hefty to having to like return 4 cards of the same trait, and it's like creatures limited. So I would say a really good card to run, a 4 out of 5 card to run, but maximum at 3 copies of this card in your deck. Yep. Is that all for yellow cards? No, we have 2 more cards. Alright, so Answered Prayers, another ambush card. Ambush of course costs 2 to play. That's why it has the dash there. When this spot is attacked and is an ambush, you may stand all the creatures at the fort and remove all damage from those creatures. So this is a card I will play in Angels, because Angels typically is like mid cost. They are all like mid cost kind of cards except Angel of Divine Balance. But you get to remove damage from all those creatures. So unless you got like some form of Slayer splash damage, I would say that this card is a really amazing card to run. But if needed, I would sideboard this card out. So this card, although it's a great card, I'll only run it at 3. But if you really want to, you run it at 4. It's really up to you. You are the owner of the deck, and you are the one enjoying the game. So Answered Prayer, run it at 3, in my opinion. A 3.5 out of 5 card. Yep. Alright, Spur to Action. So this is one of those rare cards that we see most of the main characters. We have Bugle, I can't remember, I think it's Arimantias. And we have young Axel over here along with Infini, the dumb robot. But Spur to Action, choose a creature when this creature is summon ability and play. I'm not sure whether this is the Eratat version, but there was a mistake on this card. So I would see whether I'll remember to check it for you guys and just like maybe make an announcement in the next DragoTalk video. But Fort Burst Space card is paying its cost, which is 4. So when you get to play a creature's this is summon ability, right? This is lit because you can combo with TD05's boss card, Geese the Unending Fury, and just like pop something else or just send some things back. Yeah, you can pop a Drago Shield basically. So Spur to Action, a really decent card to run, but it's a card that I would say if you get it, you get it. If you don't, so be it. So 2 copies at best, 3 if you really want to push it. But I would say the rating for this card, I would give it maybe 2.5 or 3 out of 5. So yep, that's pretty much it for the yellow cards in this set. I will be moving on to the green cards next. So like we can see that we have Lady Luthio and we have Arimantias. Oh wait, no, that card was not Arimantias, it was Armadeo. So sorry, it's like 1:30 a.m. I'm kind of confused right here. But yep, I'm really excited to talk to you guys about the green cards, although I'm kind of late. So that's pretty much it for the second episode of Drago Talks. Thank you guys for being here. Do like and share the video if you really enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't. And I hope you guys continue enjoying Dragon Ball. And see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.